I'm Ashley Fetko.
And I'm Casey Lynch.
We're millennials,
We're lawyers,
we're moms,
we're Swifties,
and we're best friends.
we are deep in the thick of paid working motherhood.
It's real, it's funny, and sometimes it's real funny.
But also, it's no joke.
It's the normal mess.
The normal mess.
The normal mess.
Nailed it. I know your daughter is not in dance because she doesn't need dance classes.
I have a development there, but yes, continue. It's
Really?
true. Yeah.
Now she wants to be in dance?
Well, she still does not think that she needs dance lessons because she already knows how to dance.
Okay.
But she has decided that she's open to going anyway so that she can just dance more. And so we signed her up. So she starts in a couple of weeks.
Okay, I'm really happy about this development on so many
Yeah.
reasons, but mostly because I need you to join me in the misery that is being a dance mom. Okay, whoever thought that it was it's okay and necessary to put mascara and red lipstick on a 3-year-old, like
Immediate
we did the
no.
photos. We did the photos for the performance, which you saw,
Which
and
are-
they turned out
which are beautiful.
Beautiful. Not pictured is the complete meltdown leading up to having the pictures taken because I put mascara on the 3-year-old and then she wiped her eye and it became all black, and then I like baby wipes. Just keep baby wipes in rotation for everything still, and they got it right off. But then she was so upset, and it's just not fair to us, especially
sweet
working
baby child.
people who work outside the home. So,
Well, and
Anyway.
and we don't need to be putting makeup on toddlers.
I know, but it's a thing for the
it's like
performance,
to
for the
show up-
stage.
Right, so that you can see their
Yes,
sweet
and
little
they wanted
faces. I
full
know.
hair and makeup done for the pictures, and they turned out like precious. They're in their performance stuff, but anyway.
The pictures are very beautiful. But yeah, so I'm not looking forward to that. But big development there with Little Spice that she, although she
What are you
knows
putting
that
her in?
she's
Dance?
Yes, it's
but what
it's
kind,
like
sorry?
the combo ballet, tap, and
Oh,
jazz.
perfect. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
That's what mine is in, and yeah, she's gonna love it.
I think
Ready.
she's
and
ready.
welcome.
And yeah, so I will report back. But yeah, she was like, she was like, I don't need dance lessons because I already know how to dance, but that would be fun to just go dance. And I was like, great. Love that. Love the
her so
confidence.
much. I love her so much. Okay,
Oh my
a
God.
roadmap today. We are going to answer the pressing question of who would play each of us in a movie.
Yes.
Because we've already talked about our inner celebrity weirdos, but now we're
That's true.
doing inner. No,
Like who
not
would-
inner. Who
Not inner. Now this is all outer. This is
Now
like
outer.
who would actually play you?
in a movie? But I'm
Who
going
would
to
be
answer for
cast?
you, and you're going to answer for me. And we can say if
Correct.
we agree or not. Okay.
Yes.
Then we have an article that blew my mind. We're going to dive into from the Wall Street Journal. And the title is Surprising Lessons Learned from Talking with America's Highest Earning Women. And I'm really excited about this because Ashley has no idea what is about to come at her. Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, this is the first time that we have recorded where messy besties, I have Googled not a thing in preparation
No.
for this discussion.
You haven't even
Not
read the
only-
article. by
I haven't
design.
even read. Right. This is reminding me of like high school contemporary. Is it contemporary? No, not contemporaneous. Spontaneous. What is the word for like where you just talk? They give you a
Improv.
topic. Extemporaneous.
Extemporaneous, but it is like you're just put on the spot, and like I'm asking you how you feel and think about things without
Yeah.
a lot of prep. So here we go.
So we're gonna
It's
do
gonna
that,
be fun.
and then we're gonna close it out with
An updated Zero Friends segment.
Zero Friends.
For those who were not here in season 1, a zero friend, that's a title that was given to people who are not our friends by Ashley's 5-year-old at the time. I think she was 3.5, almost 4. So, but
And they're not
in
even
real,
people. They're like
Right, it's
the way
just
that
things.
we use it is just things that
and
like
situations and pet
quote-
peeves.
Right. To quote Michael Scott, these are the things that we send it back.
I send it back.
I send it back. I want to go first and tell you who's going to play you in a movie.
Oh,
because I cannot believe that I have never said this to you. And it has been, I have thought this since we met.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? And there's no way, there is no possible way on earth that this offends you.
Okay.
Okay? You ready?
Yes.
I think that Emma Stone would play you.
I love Emma Stone. That is such a compliment. Thank you.
But I have to clarify something.
Okay.
Emma Stone pre-whatever wackadoo cosmetic surgery she just did to her precious baby face.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you
know
seen
what's
her?
really funny? Okay. So
She's
really
got
funny.
like, she did something with her eyes and her eyes are the thing.
Okay, sweetheart. She had an upper bleph done.
Is that what that was?
Yes. And she hasn't come out and said it, but this is what everyone's speculating. And the reason that I know this is because the exact same thing that was going on with her eyes is what's happening to my eyes right now. Oh, it's genetic.
Do not touch your eyes. Your eyes are beautiful and they're like, they're the windows to your soul. Don't mess with your eyes. First of all, like, why are people debuting new faces? What is happening?
Yeah.
Like,
lots of new faces in the last year. Tons of new faces.
Everybody back away. Like, I miss the 90s when like celebrities looked like their actual selves. Like we didn't have the same face with like slightly. Now we've just got like, you can choose. It reminds me of like new developments in housing where you can like choose from model A, model B, or model C for your house. And they're like all a little bit the same, but like slightly different.
Yes.
That's what's happening in Hollywood with faces right now. It's like,
true.
do you want face A, face B, or face C? And they're all kind of the same, but like the bathroom is on the left in face B and the bathroom is on the right in face C. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Emma Stone touched her face and it kills me. But pre-bleph.
May I be La La Land Emma Stone?
Yes, except for that I hate that movie.
Are you kidding me? I love
which I know. But you can be whichever Emma Stone you want to be. Okay, the sky is the limit.
Thank you.
Okay, who would play
Zombieland Emma
me?
Stone.
Zombie. We love that movie so much. We watched that so many times. She's just so like, and this is why too. Like I think it's an outer thing and it's an inner thing where she's obviously beautiful, but she's also like kind of quirky and fun and lovable, and those are the things that I see in you too. So like but the eyes have it for me. Her pre-bleph eyes. Okay. Now she just looks like a doll that can't fully blink, and I just feel sad for her. I miss her old face. Okay, who would play me?
I don't think there's any way you could be offended by this either.
Okay.
Kristen Bell.
I just got chills.
Really?
Which I've realized. Yeah, I get chills all the time. I've realized this like through this podcast where you'll say something and I'm like, I just got chills. Like it's this thing. Yeah, I love that. Of course I love that.
Okay,
what a great compliment.
She's so talented. She's so funny. She's so authentic. She's so down to earth. Obviously so talented from an acting perspective, but that voice, like,
I know.
And I know you're not really a singer, but you have musical talents, and the blonde is just like so perfect. Mm-hmm. She's Anna in our daughter's favorite, in Frozen, and our daughters love Frozen. So there's that. But I'm like,
and that's the part that I sing when I do my, because I would not classify myself as a singer, but like, I was in a band previously where I sang and I did musical theater and all of the things. Yeah. And I think her range sits pretty nicely with mine. So like, nice. I love that.
And it's
I
like,
love her. So
forgetting Sarah Marshall, like comedy.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Anyway.
Oh, how fun. I love that one. I was not expecting that. I haven't gotten Kristen Bell before, and I love her. She's one of my favorites. What's the Nobody Wants This?
Oh, God, yes. A series that you and I have
series.
both watched that we haven't even talked about yet. Anyway, yes.
Yes.
All
Love.
the things.
Okay, lay it on me. Talk to me about this mystery article.
Okay, so here's the article.
Okay.
And this article, I have to give a shout out to our friend Mike Duffy. Mike Duffy emailed me this article. He is a girl dad. His girls are graduating college and in college now. Pretty incredible. And he sent this to me and said, I found this really interesting and I thought about you guys. And which I thought was so sweet. And so, of course, I read it. And then I'm like, I'm so honored you thought of me because all these things are the things we talk about on the podcast and the things we talk about at our women's events.
Thank you, Mike. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you. So, again, surprising lessons from talking with America's highest earning women. Long thought keys to professional success doesn't always hold true for the top 1% of earners. So be prepared to be a little surprised.
Okay.
Callum Borchers wrote this for the Wall Street Journal, and it was published on April 29th, 2026 for anyone who wants to go read it. But don't worry, we're doing such a deep dive, you don't actually need to go read it.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the whole episode. So
pretty much.
It's gonna
Here we go.
Okay.
Let's go to the highest earning women definition.
I was just going to say, well, how are we defining this?
Top 1%. I'm jumping around the article, but top 1% of annual earnings. What do you think that annual income is? What would you guess?
Oh, man. Top 1%? Mm-hmm. Like $1 million?
Okay, that's what I was guessing too.
Okay.
So they used women who are making at least $775,000 a year.
Okay.
And they got this from federal data around what top percent of earners are in general. Yes. And research indicates just 1 in 20 people who make this much is a woman. And the other thing, this is not family income. This is the woman makes this.
Okay, got it.
Clear?
Got it.
Okay. To get the data for this article, Riley Strategic is the company, surveyed 145 women in the 1%, along with 347 other women who are not in that top stratosphere of the 1%, but still make six-figure incomes.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about over right around 500 people.
That's great.
surveyed.
That's good sample
Yes.
size.
I think it's a great sample size for this. I'm comfortable and need to make the disclaimer. I am not in the top 1% of earners.
Yeah, girlfriend, neither am I.
Okay. So just for our listeners, right? But some things that I don't think we're super surprised by, I'm going to read out, okay?
Okay.
Highest earning women are uncommonly competitive. Are you surprised by that?
No, I am not surprised by that, but I want to talk about that.
Okay.
But I'm not surprised.
They negotiate salaries more often than not.
Yep, that tracks.
A majority earn degrees from top-ranked universities.
That also makes sense.
And here's my favorite one of all of this. They consider themselves lifelong learners.
Lifelong learners? Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
I love that. Talk to me about what came up with uncommonly competitive for you.
Well, I want to know, competitive with themselves, competitive with other women, competitive.
Ooh, good call. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I think, I would say that I am a competitive person, but not against, as we've talked about. I think I compete more with myself. Mm-hmm. I'm not I don't, because I truly believe that comparison is the thief of joy. I say this to my daughter all the time when she looks at well, he got, her brother got the bigger sized pancake or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but you have a pancake. Comparison is the thief of joy. If you are always comparing, then you're always going to feel less than. So I don't know. How are we defining competitive? And I'm sure the article doesn't say this.
It doesn't say that specifically, but I will say that the whole tone of the article is summed up really nice in this sentence. Okay. The number one reason that women get into the 1% is drive. They just stick with it. That doesn't mean they keep working on Wall Street until midnight every night, but they find a different way. And to me, that signals internal competitiveness. How do I keep doing better and better and better? It's not talking about
grit.
being cutthroat. It's grit, it's resilience. Nothing in this article is about like cutting other people down or trying to edge them out. It's all about what drives them internally. And so I see it, they're talking about it being like a drive and them considering themselves high-performing competitive people. And there's another statistic I want to look up.
Because I think too, like the competitive with yourself, I think that I am that way. Like I might look at, I look at where other people who are similarly situated in their careers are, or, paths that other people have taken. And I find that as like a way to be I look at that as a way to be inspired by that and to challenge myself to do more, to grow more in that direction. But I don't feel as though I'm in competition with them. I look at that like, okay, that's a road. That's cool. I want to do more of that. I want to push myself to.
And here's what's worked for them, and it might work for me type of thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or like, okay, they took that path to get there. I don't want to take that path, but I do want to get there. So how do I, you know what I mean?
Yep. Here's the other stat that just came to mind for me. So according to research from Ernst & Young and ESPNW, approximately 94% of women in C-suite positions are former athletes.
Yeah.
And that goes to the competitiveness for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Totally.
Now, some things that might be surprising that I'd love to dive in on.
Okay.
Women in the top 1% of earners are more likely than others to be married and have multiple children.
I just got chills again.
Right? This runs counter to the idea that reaching the top at work comes at the expense of family life.
I freaking love that. I love that.
It makes sense, though, when you consider that financial stress is sometimes a reason couples separate or stop having children. So I think what they're saying is when you're a higher earner, it can give you one less thing to stress about because you're not worried about making ends meet.
Right. And you can afford to pay a village.
Help. Exactly. You can afford to buy a village. Yes.
But I also feel like there's something really dynamic and powerful there, that when you are operating from a place of security and abundance personally, you are probably better equipped or more willing to be audacious and to take calculated professional risks. And those are the risks that you above lower earning professionals, right? When you have a partner and a little ecosphere at home that is abundant and that is safe and steady in that way, that's like a protective factor, and that's a nurturing factor that makes sense to me, that there's opportunity there. Not just because when we talk about like, oh, well, of course, if they're higher earning, then they like, it's almost like which came first, the higher earning or the higher earning potential or the family, Like, I think probably in order to reach that point, you had to probably be building both at the same time.
Yep. I would agree with that. Now, along the lines of what you just said, there is a statistic that I heard earlier on in my career that I don't want to say it had a chilling effect on me, but it was very much in my mind that the studies show, so there's something called a motherhood penalty.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomenon that's widely recognized as an increasing number of children actually often decreases women's earning opportunities. So the more children you have, the less opportunity you're going to have to earn an income outside the house.
I have heard that as well. I've also heard, and I don't have it at my fingertips, but I've also heard that there's like almost this boomerang effect that happens where if you have one child, you're probably still okay and will not suffer as great of a penalty. But if you have 2 or 3, you suffer the most. But if you have 4, then it comes back around and you're fine. Have you seen this?
Yes, I have. I know.
Yeah.
And what's wild to me is I have not experienced this at all. Our company pays for maternity leave. And then you come back and like, you're still on the same earning trajectory that you were before you left. So do you think companies just aren't paying maternity leave? And so while you're gone caring for your new child away from the workplace, you're not earning something, and that's impacting your earning opportunity? And that's where they're getting this data? Are women taking an intentional pause? Like, what do you think is happening there?
I think it's a couple of things. And I have to clarify too that I have not gone on maternity leave at our company. So I can speak to this because the circumstances that I went out on maternity leave previously were that I was unpaid. It was unpaid. I could take a maximum of 3 months, and I had to exhaust all of my earned vacation and sick time before that would kick in. Okay?
Thank you, government.
Mm-hmm.
That was a government. You were a government employee, right?
I was a government employee, local government. This is not like even state or federal. Okay.
You're right. Okay.
And so what ends up happening is that you're squirreling away, and you couldn't roll over vacation or sick time from previous years. So you're like really up against it if you're in that kind of an environment, okay? Where you're limited on how much time you can take, not only just by the system, but also how long can you go without a paycheck, okay?
Right.
And then you're also limited in the lead up to maternity leave for both of mine, I'm like squirreling away, vacation and sick time, which I rarely in the decade that I spent in that work, we rarely took vacations. Like I can count on like 2 fingers the number of vacations that we took. You know what I mean? And so you're squirreling away. So there's like this pre-maternity leave handicap that happens. Is handicap the right word?
I think so.
Where you're limited, even pre-maternity leave.
It's almost a penalty.
It's a penalty that you're paying in advance. So think about, especially for someone who had, like I did, high risk pregnancies, how much time am I taking away from the office, away from work to go have those appointments? Well, all of that is counting against whatever maternity leave I'm going to be able to take. So you're like really cautious and you're packing it away. Okay. So there's like that financial component, but I also think that I think does put you behind when you come back. Just financially by numbers, you haven't had a paycheck in 3 months, okay? And you have no vacation or sick time because you've exhausted all of it. So then you have to wait for it to reaccrue, and you're a new mom, okay? It's disgusting. Sucks. There's that. But I also experienced in my previous role a very real, how do I say this? The vast majority of people in leadership at my previous role were men. If you were not part of that club, you had little to no hope of advancing. No matter how much you worked, how well you worked, how much of a leader you were, how much you showed up, how much you dug in, none of that ultimately mattered. And that penalty felt very real to me when I came back from both maternity leaves. So when you are in an environment where the infrastructure does not support your financial advancement because of how much leave you're allowed to take and how it has to be staggered and all of that, you're automatically penalized. But then when there's this added cultural component where like not only are you not in the club because you don't have the necessary parts to be in the club, but then you're also further out of the club because not only are you not a man, but now you're also the mom. Like you're even further outside of the club. And so you're working even harder, especially if you have this like inner competitiveness that I think that I do. You're working even harder against that, but it's kind of hopeless because the structure is not there for you to succeed culturally or financially because of the way that your vacation, sick time, all of that works.
Yeah. Now it makes sense.
So,
and you're like you're constantly behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, you're just constantly behind.
You're never going to catch up.
You're never going to catch up. And while they might, it was like this thing where it was like, oh, it's totally fine if you have to leave for like a little league game or a soccer game or whatever. Like, That's totally fine. And it's like, yeah, it's fine for you, but you're not also like, you're not the mom, and you occupy a fundamentally different position by nature of who you are in the world here that I do. So it's okay for you, but it's not actually okay for me. It might be okay in the short term, but I know long term that I'm going to be penalized for that, and I'm going to have a struggle to advance if I do decide to use my very limited vacation time to go out for a couple of hours early to go to my kid's soccer game.
Well, in light of that experience, I'm even more encouraged by the article to see that these top women
yes. Oh yeah. 100%.
Have the support of family, right?
Yep.
And like have multiple children.
Yes.
The other thing that really surprised me, nearly 1/4 of women in the 1% are first generation Americans. How cool is that?
Wow. And that's what I wasn't going to ask about that specifically, but I was going to ask, like, did they do any kind of analysis about demographics beyond?
I don't have race here.
Okay.
And I don't have age.
Okay.
But it does start talking about financial security, which we're going to get into, and the ages that women started feeling financially secure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think we also have to have the very big caveat with that, especially because the article didn't assess any race or age, like looking at whether they graduated from a top tier university. Data is pretty clear that if you have come from a position of privilege, or you're a legacy, or you have some, leg up, you're more likely to have gotten in and to have graduated from one of those universities. So probably my guess is that a lot of the women that are involved in this study were, operating from a place of privilege automatically. I don't know that. I'm guessing that, but just knowing.
That's an assumption or a guess we're making. And that's why I was surprised to see 25%, almost 25% of women in this group are first generation American, which tells me they don't have that legacy to help them get into that school.
Yeah.
Right? That's like a self-made woman in my mind.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit at some point. I know you have a plan. I'm going to trust the plan. But I want to talk a little bit about like the resiliency that might be born from those like early. I mean, I'm making a ton of assumptions, but when your family has immigrated to a new country, that is a tremendous amount of, oh my gosh. I mean, growth like so severely undersells what that is. I mean, that can be accompanied by a tremendous amount of difficulty and adversity. And so there's maybe something there about like what those
teaches you at a very young age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Agreed.
Interesting. Okay.
Here, along those lines, here we go. This one was also very surprising to me. About 1/5 of this group experienced times in their childhood when the main breadwinners in their home were unemployed.
A fifth?
A fifth.
Okay, well that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yes. And isn't that surprising to you? Along the lines of like making assumptions about privilege and opportunity and stuff, like for the main breadwinners in the house to be unemployed as a child, that's like talk about resilience and things that you learn from that too.
Oh man, that's a lot.
Kind of blowing your mind. See why I wanted to talk about this article?
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that's incredible. Like I, this is gonna sound really weird, but like, I worry all the time about not being a good enough mom, and like, we had this childcare situation recently where we were very unexpectedly we had to separate from our childcare provider. And it was like a very unexpected, massive upheaval. And we had all of these conversations internally, Ash and I, about like, we need to have stability in our kids' lives. Like, and we're like beating ourselves up over this thing and, and trying to sort through it and feeling like we're really, there's this always like, I'm always worried about screwing my kids up. So that statistic, I mean, obviously both of us are employed and that's, that's not really what I'm talking about, but to hear that women who have experienced that level of instability and anxiety potentially, growing up at an early age, like to still have reached that level, that almost feels like that's maybe where grit is born a little bit,
Oh my gosh. It's like, I'm so glad you haven't read the article because you're so brilliant. It's like you have. Okay, next sentence. So we're talking about first generation Americans and then having the main breadwinners in their home being unemployed at some point.
Okay.
These statistics are higher than the rates among women earning lower six-figure salaries, suggesting instability at an early age can light a fire.
Wow. So put another way, the women in the top earning percentages had higher rates of childhood instability through
Yes.
breadwinners not having jobs or through immigration, which is, I don't want to say that. That's, we're assuming a lot there, but that's what that means.
Yes.
Holy mackerel.
I know. Right?
But that's
All
what
right.
that says to me. I feel like we almost talked about this a little bit with Dr. Cross too, where it's like, she was talking about it more like the productive struggle. That's how she was talking about it, where like, when you are forced to struggle and to learn in that way, it builds resilience and grit in really impactful ways. And this is that's exactly what that is, right? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's incredible.
I know. Are you ready for more surprises?
Oh my God, there's more. Yeah.
I know there's more. Okay. One of the things that was most surprising to me about this article is that there are two aspects of the way these women present at work that doesn't line up with the stereotype of like the strong, buttoned up professional woman. And the two things are, the women said that they don't consider themselves to have thick skin. They take things more personally and they care deeply about.
Oh my God. They're crying in meetings.
They're crying in meetings. Not necessarily. They didn't
Not
say
necessarily.
that.
Okay.
And the second is imposter syndrome is present with a ton of them. And we call it imposter phenomenon. So this article tells the story about a woman who was she was in her late 30s, making $800,000 a year. She went into a board meeting and she left the board meeting feeling completely destroyed. And her husband, she said she remembered coming home and her husband's like, why are you letting this get to you? You are such a super smart woman. It just doesn't make sense. And she's saying, she said to him, like, it's getting to me because I kind of feel like I've hit a wall. Like I want to take my career further, but I don't feel like I can here. And so the article actually makes a little bit of a joke that's like, well, roughly 99% of us are thinking, I'd like to be disrespected to the tune of $800,000 a year.
Right, no joke. I'm like, okay,
But then that's the point, is that these women are wired differently, like an elite athlete, where they used slights to them as fuel to just like propel them further. So, and make greater achievements.
And that is Taylor Allison Swift.
100%.
Like, that is one of the things, I just derailed us and I'm sorry, but it's like where my brain went.
Go for it.
That is one of the things that I most love and admire about her, is that she is not ashamed of or afraid to feel things and be impacted by things and use that as fuel for what she does next.
That is exactly what the article says, is that they're not, we're
does
not,
it talk
when
about
that
Taylor
happens,
Swift?
No, but they're saying that this is what these women do. They don't brush aside these discouraging things that happen to them and like just move forward. They actually use it as fuel to the next thing. So this woman actually quit the job and goes out and starts her own company and now like increased her salary, blah, 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 beyond that.
Okay. I have to tell you what my advice was now.
The only question I asked Ashley to think about before we did this episode is, if you could rewrite, let me say it, rewrite, like my 3-year-old. Okay. If you could rewrite one piece of advice women are constantly given about success, what would it be?
And here is mine. I hate the idea. I have been told directly or indirectly that I need to overcome or get past or get over my imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon. And I dislike that because I have struggled with that and I have tried. There is no way for me to just get over it. Like, I think that that's a misnomer. And what we're talking about here, about like using those things as fuel, I think that like imposter syndrome in its full-blown state is probably really, that's massively detrimental, because if it's to the point where you're not even willing to take a risk, like, okay, obviously, you know, I'm obsessed with risk taking, that's problematic. But I think my biggest leaps of growth in my career have come when I have allowed myself to acknowledge the presence of imposter syndrome, and to what we were just talking about, it used it to fuel me. So like when I have felt, so before I started this job at the firm, you know, I read everything that I could possibly get my hands on, because I felt so like I was excited at the prospect, but I also felt like, oh, I am not prepared for that. I'm not cut out for that. And so rather than just like ignoring that or brushing past that and being like, okay, well, just get over it, overcome it, that's nonsense. I used that as fuel to motivate me to learn as much as I possibly could, and to be prepared as much as I could. And that, I think, leveled me up in ways that I probably wouldn't have if I didn't have that little voice in the back of my head saying, are you sure you got this? Are you sure you got this? So what I would rewrite is like, you need not get over imposter syndrome. You need to make friends with your imposter syndrome and use it to your benefit. Okay. Thank you.
I feel like you wrote this freaking article. That's
okay.
So cool. Because, first of all, I completely agree.
I was going to ask. Okay.
I completely agree. Okay. For me, when imposter phenomenon or imposter syndrome shows up, it means I'm just outside my comfort zone, and that means I'm growing. That means, like, if I'm doubting myself, can you really do it? Like, yes. So yeah. I completely agree with your advice. You just have to make friends with it and embrace it. Like, embrace these feelings that I'm not enough, I can't do this. Oh, yes, I can. And the way you do it is by over-preparing. Here's the final sentence of this article. Women who have cracked the top 1% of income show a patch of thin skin and a dose of self-doubt can be motivational assets.
I feel so validated right now.
Do you feel so seen?
I do. That's really cool. That's
Isn't
like
that neat?
That was.
It's so
wow.
neat. Yeah.
But I want to know more about like their thin skin. Is that like what we were talking about, your example where they
take
actually
things personally and it hurt their feelings. You feel it.
And it's motivation.
Yes. Yeah. And then use it as motivation. Yep.
Okay.
2 more things I want to highlight. It is striking how few of the women in the survey believed that they possess some kind of special talent. Only 1/3 of these top earners said they consider themselves unique or unusual. And there's something that they talk about is like never thinking of themselves as irreplaceable, never accepting the status quo as good enough, and perpetually driving themselves forward as lifelong learners and avoiding complacency in their roles.
That all makes complete sense.
And that kind of comes from imposter syndrome. Like it talks about how they don't all gain this perfect high level of confidence. And so you're like, well, I'm not special, so I got to work really, really hard. They are so special, but they don't see themselves that way. And they keep working really, really hard. So of course you're going to continue learning and growing and have future earning potential.
Wow.
Really cool. Last one is
really cool.
Last one is one question they asked every 1%er, including some women who declined to be named in the column, is, at what age did you feel financially secure? Okay. I'm 40. I do not feel financially secure. If I'm financially secure in that I have some savings in the bank, but things would still be a struggle if I lost my job. Like I would need to go get another job, and then I would need to like dip into savings to be able to make that happen.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly the same.
Okay, like retirement isn't like a drop in the bucket. Like I'm there yet. Okay. Yeah. So if we're in your late 30s, I'm 40. At what age do you think you might feel financially secure, or women do feel financially secure?
This is like depressing to say. Maybe like 55 or 60.
Yeah. So
I would hope for like when I'm like 55 and I'm like looking at.
You can see it on the horizon, retirement on the horizon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes back as what one of the respondents said. So one woman who was 63 responded that she didn't have a sense of financial security until her 50s. And for women, the answers were consistently older than the interview expected for people with these very long records of very hefty earnings. And so maybe if I did have those high level of earnings, I would feel like financially secure at 40, but they're not that different. It's like the People magazine where they're like, high earners, celebrities, they're just like us. And they're at the grocery store. Like even these high achieving women, high earning women still have this very similar view to, I think, us on financial security.
You know what that reminds me? The reason I said this is kind of depressing to say out loud, because in my teens, I was like, okay, in my 20s, then I'm going to feel like I'm solid. I've got it. I'm good. In my 20s, I was like, in my 30s, I'm going to feel like I've got it. I'm solid. I'm good. And now as I'm staring down the barrel of 40, I'm like, it's probably going to be more like your 50s that you're going to, you know what I mean?
But I feel but now that I'm here, I'm still hustling.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is like, maybe that's kind of like our default setting. Like, I don't know, to your point, I don't know, Casey, if we were in the top 1% of earners having this conversation today, well, we'd probably have nicer mics and like be wearing Louboutins. But like, okay, if we were like in the top 1%, we're having that conversation today, I still think our answers would probably be the same, because I think you and I are always driven to more.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know that we would, so that is like a little bit validating also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that these elite. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Isn't that crazy? All right. Have you had fun?
That is crazy.
That's the article. It blew my mind and it was so validating. It was so comforting. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the normal mess. Like, this is what we talk about. So we have to just do a deep dive.
I have to tell you, I was very nervous. And this is the imposter phenomenon, imposter syndrome thing, where you were like, I want to talk about this article. And I was like, oh, my subscription lapsed, so I haven't read it. And you were like, okay, actually don't read it then. And we'll, I was very nervous. Not that I wouldn't be able to talk about it maybe, but I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. Like, I'm so glad that we had this conversation in this way, because that is really surprising, very inspiring, and hopeful. I have no notes. That was great. Thanks, Wall Street Journal. Thanks, Casey.
And thanks, Mike Duffy, for sending it to us.
Thanks, Mike Duffy.
How fun is that, huh?
Incredible.
Final segment today. Do you have any updates to your zero friend list we could add?
I do. Zero friends are all of the people that I interact with in airports who apparently have never set foot in an airport before and are new to the earth.
Have never walked with a suitcase in hand.
Have never walked. Like, have never experienced a moving walkway before.
Yes.
And like have never seen a food court before. Don't understand how to board a train. Have never set foot on an escalator before. Have never walked before. The number of, and like when I'm driving, there's like a lazy lane changer where they have their blinker on, and you're like, okay, go for it.
Just come on over.
Just come on, let's go. Or they're leaving your lane, and you're like, great, you please exit the lane so that I may continue. It's that, but it's like I sent you a reel of this where like. It's like a reel of, I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, that's like people in airports. And like all of a sudden they're walking in one direction, and all of a sudden they sharp turn and turn around and start walking into you.
Yeah,
or like they're walking and then all of a sudden, right. They're walking and then all of a sudden they just stop. Do your brains turn off when you get into an airport? Or is that how they move through the rest of the world also?
I think it's an airport scenario, and You haven't touched on the fact that over 80% of the people also have their noses buried in their phone while they're walking.
Yes. How about we just, if you're moving about the world, drop your phone down enough that you can freaking use your eyeballs that are in your skull and look at the other human beings occupying the same freaking space as you. It makes me insane, the people in airports. And I do totally do the thing, like, if I get to an airport early, which you know I hate doing, I like to get to the airport, walk through security, walk straight to the flight, get on the plane. I do not like stopping. I might stop. There is a Starbucks at DIA at Gate B31 that I will order my drink as I'm on the walking escalator. Okay, I know I'm saying put down the phone. I'm doing it responsibly and still aware of my space. I'll order my drink from pickup so that when I walk off of the escalator or walk off of the moving walkway, I grab my latte from the Starbucks and I keep walking. But I try to not get to the airport early. If I do have a few minutes early where I need to go grab a bite to eat, I do the thing where I walk to the gate, I look at it to confirm that it's there, and then I go find my food. Okay, fine. But human beings, please engage in the airport with your brains. Access your brains.
Otherwise, zero friend.
I send you back. Okay. Do you have a zero friend? I'm sorry, I took us on a tirade there. Do you have a zero friend?
That was the longest zero friend I ever experienced. And I'm not mad about it.
Just because I've traveled so much lately that every single time I'm like,
it's so funny because my zero friend has to do with travel too. Here we go.
Okay, lay it on me.
When you check into a hotel and they give you a room that's essentially in the bay of the elevators on that floor.
So
zero friend.
Ding, ding.
Zero friend.
The door's open. Zero, right.
I also, for some reason, it's like less. Yes. Okay. So first is the sound is annoying. I don't like hearing the people. I want it to be quiet. I use the Calm app when I sleep in hotel rooms on white noise, very, very loud, no matter what, because that's going to help me sleep. So I have to turn it extra loud when I'm next to the elevator bay. But there's something about it when I'm traveling alone, I feel like it's less safe. Like someone could get in and get out really fast because you're right next to the elevator. I don't know. Or more people are going to be next to my room. So the likelihood of somebody doing something not cool is higher versus if I'm all the way down the hallway, not everybody walks down there, which is weird because don't you think being alone without other people around would be more unsafe? But it freaks me out. I don't like it.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is like, may I at least alleviate that concern as a former prosecutor? Criminals do not enjoy committing crimes where there are many witnesses nearby. So if you're near an elevator bank, chances are probably better that you're not going to be a victim of a crime because there are more people in that area typically.
I'll take it.
Unless it's a dumb criminal, which if they've just come from the airport and their brains are not turned on.
They're dumb.
They're dumb.
They're also staying in a hotel.
Right. So, yeah, that's fair. I've also had like recent zero friends.
I also I'm learning to ask at check-in, can you please not put me right next to the elevator?
Yeah.
Like just make it a standard thing that I ask. Like, can you please put me down the hall from the elevator where it's not super close?
Yeah. I've had lately a lot of hotel rooms that have like this weird balcony thing that's not actually accessible to you, but like your window's open to it. And there's and that terrifies me. It just was at the hotel that I was just in Philly. And it's happened several times before that, where it's like your window opens to like this quasi balcony type space that clearly somebody has access to. And I do not like that because then I'm on a high floor, but I might as well not be because there's some weird way that somebody could get into my room via the window on this non-functional, still available balcony. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That freaks me out.
And I've had the thought that the criminal is going to be the equivalent of Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible and like scaling the balcony to get up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, I don't.
I always worry that the criminal is going to be someone who works like it's an inside job, who works for the hotel and has like the master key to come in.
Because remember, those last thing, sorry, but do you remember when we had the adjoining rooms next to each other in Denver and I accidentally locked myself out of my room going to your
Yes.
room, and
Yes.
the sliding, extra security flap thingy was over the hook, that's
Yeah.
like now nobody can come in. Oh,
Yeah.
they can come in because he had
Oh,
to
they
break
can.
in to
Yes,
get me
and they
back in
could.
my room.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
they
those
could,
things
and they
offer
did.
zero security. All you need
Yeah.
is the little thing that they use to get.
Yep. Mhm. So
Not to
so
freak
I'm never
everyone
traveling
out.
again.
Zero
Right.
friends. We're just going to stay
Zero
home.
friends. Okay.
Thank you, messy besties.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys. Have a
Love
fabulous
y'all.
week.
See you soon.
Love you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
The Normal Mess podcast is created, edited, and produced by us.
To keep up with The Normal Mess, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
To help us grow the Normal Mess community, leave us a rating and a review. If you'd like a piece of this normal mess, just reach out.
Our email is thenormalmess@gmail.com, and you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at The Normal Mess. Does my hair look okay?
Yes.
Kind of a
Yes.
weird hair day.
Are you ready for my chit chat to start?
Oh yeah, chit chat away, girlfriend.
Okay.